Hey, Kush morning, it's a good morning. Kush morning, it's a good morning. Hey, Kush morning, it's a good morning. So, Kush morning to you. Blazing family, welcome, welcome, welcome to one more Kush morning. You know what I mean? Giving thanks to life. One more day above ground. And as we give thanks to life, we give thanks to the life giver. We give thanks to sun, moon, and stars. Eat, air, and water, land, sky, and sea. You know what I mean? Word, powers, and sound. Priest, prophet, and king, past, present, and future. We give thanks and praise. You know what I mean? For the earth. Give thanks and praise to Mama. Because the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, the world and everything in her. Let's do this, family. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's do this. I want to tell us, family, this morning is a Sunday morning in a London town. Yeah, Monday morning, you know what I mean? Yes, I do give thanks and praise to life, man. We've been waiting for this weather for a very long time. And now it's here. Finally, we give thanks and praise to that. You see me? Yes, I. So to all the ones them in London town, I know you're having a great time right now because time is warm, the sun is out, you know, all the flowers are blooming and blossoming and the fruits are growing. It's springtime officially, going forward to summertime, you know what I mean? Eventually. So we give thanks. It's a lovely time in London town right now. You see it? Yes, I. And I want to tell you them say, yeah. I'm gonna be doing Kush Morning a bit differently from now on because it's about progress. You know what I mean? As you can hear in the forward, I have my songs playing. I actually own the rights for these songs, so I can play these songs in the forward. You know what I mean? I look a spice to the thing, you know what I mean? Add a little spice to the thing because that's how the thing go. As we go on and go on, we improve and we grow. You know what I mean? Yeah, so people, family, we're going to be talking about a thing called, this morning topic is going to be about social media. Social media. And while we're going to be on the topic of social media, I'm going to play a song which basically relates to social media. You know what I mean? And this song relates to social media so much, it's actually called WhatsApp Group. You know what I mean? It's like right now, yeah, it's called WhatsApp. Yeah. I'm gonna be speaking about social media and this song is called WhatsApp Group. And the reason why I made this song, yeah, and if you wanna hear these songs and songs like these, go up on YouTube, go up on Spotify, go up on iTunes and type in Upfull King. It's the EP I released a few years ago. And yeah, if I should say so myself, I think it's one of my best bodies of work I've done since I've been performing and writing and singing as an artist. I think Upfull King is some of my best body of work that I've produced and promote and performed. I write all these songs, I produce all these songs, and I recorded all these songs and all of this. So all of this work is officially 100% Asha Heights. Obviously I work with an engineer and I work with a producer. You know what I mean? The engineer mix and master, producer, help I, you know what I mean? Build the beats them and thing and but the beats I actually tell the engineer, the producer what kind of beats I want, how I want the beats. And the engineer, I tell him how I want it mixed and how I want it sound. So I was always hands-on throughout. But I have to salute my engineer, one of the greatest engineers in the world, and he's also the producer as well. But I worked with a different producer on a couple tracks. You know what I mean? But most of the tracks, it's got 6 tracks, intro and outro. Yeah, so in all it got 8 numbers. But it's 6 tracks officially. And on one of the tracks I work with a different producer in making the rhythm a bit different. You understand? But my producer made all the beats. My producer, which is Audio Tracks from Jamaica, Olaba St. Catherine, one of the biggest producers in the world. You're gonna hear about him eventually. Cause them can't hide greatness. Yeah? Audio Tracks, look out for him. One of the biggest producers in the world, and he's also one of the biggest engineers in the world. He's a genius. And I work with for most of the works where you hear what I'm do. Even my recent tune I call last year. Last year we almost give up, but then a vibe selfie person. He produced all them tunes there. But I tend to work with different producers to get the rhythm started, and then I bring it towards Audio Tracks to finish and perfect it. And sometimes I just work with Audio Tracks from start to finish. But on one of these tracks on Upfull King EP, I work with an engineer. Excuse me. I work with an engineer, excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. I'm gonna pause this for now. Actually, I'm gonna turn it down. I'm gonna go and play on the forward because, you know what I mean? Like I said before, it's my project, Upfull King. Yeah. This is the track, actually. Speaking about the, see the most I work? This is the track that I actually work with the next producer, a virgin from Spain. Yeah, a virgin from Spain that I met in Wilson. Yeah, a virgin from Spain. Yeah, he was engineering. I went and voiced the track at a studio in Wilson. Yeah, and he was the engineer there. And while I was recording the track, he came up with an idea of playing a phrase in the rhythm. The rhythm was already made, but he thought that maybe if I put a little phrase, a little keyboard phrase in the rhythm, it would make it sound a bit different. And when he played it for me and I listened to it, it actually makes sense. So I made him put the phrase in. So therefore I had to put him also as the producer on this track. So if you go on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, and you check out the EP Upfull King, and you see the tune called My Herb, you will see that it says featuring so and so and so, his name. You understand? Yeah. I can't remember his name right now because it was my first time voicing with him and also working with him. I've never seen him before that, and I haven't seen him since then, so he doesn't register in my brain. But if I go on iTunes and check it out, I make sure I give him his rights in terms of when I was uploading the songs on iTunes, I put him as the featured producer and engineer on this track. You understand? Which is right. I always give people who I work with their credits and their rights, because if I work with you and I do something, I also want my credit and my rights. So I'm not gonna do you wrong, and I expect no one to do me wrong. And that's how we roll. But anyway, enough about that. Let's jump into the topic of reason today. I was just basically clearing up certain things and also a little promo for Upfull King EP. Go and check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all the platforms. Upfull King. It's a great body of work. You know what I mean? Yeah. Solid tracks. Six solid tracks. An intro and an outro. Go and check it out. Anyway, this morning we're going to be talking about social media. And while it's on the topic of social media, and I feel the need to define the word social media. See? So I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to give you the definition of social first, and I'm also going to give you the definition of media. And then I'm going to give you the meaning of social media combined, put together. Yeah? So basically, the definition of social means needing companionship and therefore best suited to living in communities. slash relating to society and its organizations. Did you get that? Yeah. And the definition for media is the main means of mass communication, broadcasting, publishing, and the internet regarded collectively. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's pause that right there because it's going into adverts and you know the thing already. Yeah? So basically, yeah. The main means of mass communication. And then brackets you have broadcasting, publishing, and the internet. Bracket close. Regarded collectively. Yeah. That's media right there. And also you have a second definition that means, as a more simple definition that means plural form of medium. So you know you got medium in terms of singing, writing. You know what I mean? These are mediums. Way how you express something or do something. And it's the same thing. This is saying broadcasting, publishing, and internet. These are also mediums. But when it's more than one medium, it becomes a media. The main means of mass communication, broadcasting, publishing, and internet regarded collectively. Understand? Yes, I. So now we give you the meaning of social and media separately. Let's give you the meaning of social media together. Yeah, I took some notes. You know the thing already. Keep the thing precise and concise and to the point. Yeah, Kushman and we say, no? Social media. The definition for social media is a collective term for websites and applications that focus on communication, community-based input, interaction, content sharing, and collaboration. Yeah. And also, you have this in brackets, which basically says, people use social media to stay in touch and to interact with friends, families, and various communities. Okay. Now we're going to emphasize on the term communication, on the term community-based, and on the term interaction. See? Now, I have a question for the item. And this is going to be the topic, or, yeah, the subtopic of this reason, which basically means, and it goes by this, saying, the pros and cons of social media are, is social media good or bad? Yeah. Is social media good or bad? And let me elaborate on why I asked this question and why I use that statement. Is social media good or bad? Or is social media really social? Is it really social, people? Social media. Is it an irony? Is it an oxymoron? Putting social with media? Is it an oxymoron? Is it really a contrasting term, a contrasting title? Eh? Is it really, does it really make sense? Because I'm sure, excuse me, I'm sure that by now everyone may see the evidence, the results of social media. Some more than some. Because you have to be truthful. Social media got pros and cons. And we're going to be going in some of those pros and cons in a second. But at the same time, let me just express a little thought right now. Differently from the notes and the factual evidence and thing presented by the internet. You know what I mean? Let me just give you my own view, quick and fast. Yeah. social media with the term social. Remember, I tell you a while ago what social mean, right? Social means needing companionship and therefore best suited to living in communities relating to society or its organizations. But just think about this quick and fast. Needing companionship and therefore best suited to living in communities. That means people, human beings, are people who are best suited to living in communities because we are that way inclined. We communicate and we love to communicate. We don't want to be by ourselves. Human beings don't like to be by themselves. Even though sometimes it's needed and sometimes you want to overall the big picture across the board, we are people who are family orientated and like and best suited to communities and like to be around people. People want to be loved and people want to love. And it's not even a want. People need to be loved and need to love. You know what I mean? Back and forward, forward and, you know what I mean? Yeah. Needing, that's the word I'm using, and needing companionship. It wasn't wanting, yeah, it's needing companionship and therefore best suited to living in communities. So people need companionship. But if you look upon it, does social media really promotes companionship? Does it really promote community? Or does it break down community? It's a simple, valid question. Does social media promote living in communities and companionship? Or does it break it down and it's all me, self, hence the word selfie that basically got invented via social media. Because you take a selfie to upload on social media. You know what I mean? Yeah. So is social media really promoting communities and really promoting companionship, or is it breaking it down and taking it away under the guise of social? That's why I say, is it an oxymoron to basically combine media, which is basically mediums of like example, broadcasting, publishing, getting your content out there, and also being social, feeling the need for companionship? How does that work together? You know? Is it building companionship? And is it building communities? Is it connecting people? Or is it disconnecting people? Is social media connecting people or causing a disconnect? I think I might use that as a title. That sounds more better. Is social media connecting people or is it causing a disconnect? Is it breaking down? Is it building communities or is it breaking down communities? What do you think? Eh? All right. Let me just jump quickly and fast into some of the negatives of social media. Yeah? These are some of the negatives of social media. And if you look around and look online, and if you've been online, you would have seen these. I'm going to give you 5. I'm not going to give you too much. Just 5. Because I want to keep this video at about half an hour. I'm not going to go too far in this video. Right? I might make a part 2 to this video because this topic is very important and it's very, you know what I mean, needed, this topic. Because right now, a whole heap of things are going on since the social media thing started. It basically, since the start of social media and the rise of social media, there's been a lot of decline of certain things. So yeah, we're going to go into it, probably a part 1, a part 2, and maybe a part 3. But this is the part 1, right? All right. So this is like the introduction towards the topic. Does social media promote communities or does it break down communities? Does social media connect people or is it causing a disconnect in the community? Yeah? All right. These are 5 disadvantages, 5 negatives of social media. Here we go. It lacks emotional connection. That's number 1. What I say a while ago? Is it connecting people or disconnecting people? You understand? Yeah. That is a negative or that's a disadvantage of social media. It lacks emotional connection. Hence, underline, brackets, you know what I mean? Bold the word emotional connection. It lacks emotional connection. That's deep right there, so. Because remember, you know, the definition of social means the need for companionship. And in order to have companionship, 2 people or more need to connect. So if you can't connect emotionally, then physically it's not going to really work, is it? Okay. So it lacks emotional connection. That's 1. 2. Gives people a license to be hurtful. Because, face it, if someone lack emotional connection, that means they lack empathy and sympathy. And basically, like them always say on social media, I care 0. You dig? Yeah. People always use the term I care 0. It's all about me, 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 me. Me and mines. You know what I mean? It's all about me and mines. I care 0. Yeah. So, because it lacks emotional connection, it also gives people a license to be hurtful. That means they don't think about your well-being, think about your mental state or how you may feel about what they say because they lack emotional connection. It takes away empathy. Yeah, it takes away empathy and therefore takes away sympathy. You know what I mean? So it gives people a license to be hurtful. That's 2. 3. And I think this one is one of the biggest ones you can get from social media. Decreases face-to-face interactions to feel disconnect. What me say a while ago? Yeah? Yeah. Decreases face-to-face connection. It decreases face-to-face interactions. So if we are people who need to be, remember, you know, the definition of social is need to be needing companionship. So if we are people we as people who need companionship and therefore best suited to living in communities, but therefore you have social media now, one of the negatives now, which basically says it decreases face-to-face interactions. You know what I mean? To feel disconnected. So it's going to make you feel disconnected. You take away the face-to-face. We coming together and talking, sitting under a tree, sitting in the park, sitting in the library, having a talk around the table. You know what I mean? Talking together, reasoning together, singing together, praying together. It takes away all of that face-to-face interaction. It takes it away. Therefore, it causes a disconnect. And if it cause a disconnect, then how is it gonna be that now we as people needing companionship and therefore best suited in living in communities? Excuse me, people. I always tell you say, now I mean, my throat sometimes itch me because now it's summertime and the pollen is out in the air. I get a little itching on my throat sometimes because of the thing with them calling hay fever. It's no such thing called hay fever. It's a joke. It's basically England polluted space. You know what I mean? That's what I put that, you know. This place is polluted and yeah, the trees over here don't bear no fruits. Only a few trees bear fruits. You know, most of the trees them don't bear fruits. So then they basically give off something else. Because the trees are supposed to bear fruits, but they don't bear no fruits. So therefore they give off something unnatural. And hence, someone like I born in the tropics. You know what I mean? Yeah, because when I travel to different places, I don't get hay fever in the summertime. You know what I mean? I go to Africa, no hay fever. I go to different places in Europe, no hay fever. I go to Jamaica, I go to different places, no hay fever. So I just know some why it's a polluted space in England with these trees that basically was probably man-made and all these things, and yeah, you know what I mean? Basically. Let's leave that at that. Anyway, social, needing companionship and therefore best suited to living in communities. That's the definition of social. And on the flip side, you have disadvantage of social media, which basically says decreases face-to-face interactions to feel disconnected. So if you feel disconnected because of lack of face-to-face interactions, how are you gonna be fueling and feeling that need to be in companionship if you're basically taking away the face-to-face interactions? We're not gonna have no companionship if there's no face-to-face interactions. So is social media good or is social media bad? Is it building communities or is it breaking down and breaking up communities? I think the evidence and the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? The next one basically says social media facilitates laziness. And for those who don't understand what facilitates mean, the definition of facilitates basically says makes an action or process easy or easier. So it makes it easier for someone to be lazy because all they're doing is basically sitting around. Like in my song where I says, you can't sit down every day and just scroll on Insta. Man, want to have money like the Prime Minister. In a progress is a most, so what you're telling me, bro, you know what I mean? Yeah, it make you sit down one place and I scroll all day. I browse all day. Thumbs a move, I browse all day. You become lazy. You know what I mean? It promotes laziness. It facilitates laziness. And it's a fact. Just look at the youth them. And speaking of the youth them, I'm going to jump quick and fast in some pros and cons of social media in regards to teenagers. Yeah? Yeah, quick and fast because I'm going to end on this bit. Yeah? And then I'm going to have the part 2 and the part 3 and so on, so on, so on. You can leave your comments below and you can tell me what you think about social media. Is it building or is it breaking down communities? Is social media good or bad? These are the two titles. The topic, the first title is social media good or bad? Then you're going to have below that, is it building communities or breaking them down? Okay. All right. Pros. And this is regarding the teens, right? The pros. It enhances creativity. We do give thanks to that. Yeah. We now have a say, boy, we now have a sit down and tell us say social media is all bad. But we know say in the midst there is some negative, there is some disadvantage, there is some bad. But there's also a few, there's a good and there is bad. But we can't open our eye to the good and close our eye to the bad. We have to look on them both. Alright. The pros is It enhances creativity for the teens. It can teach them about money, finance. Okay. Things like NFTs and this and that. And I mean, yeah. Things about, yeah, financial literacy, save, invest, and all these things. These things are available on social media. True. All right. It's a great way to learn various skills. Yeah, you can learn certain skills on social media. You know what I mean? And the final pros is it's good for their education on a whole, on a big scale. It's good for their education. Now, if they're supervised by someone who have them head screwed on by a parent or adult or some kind of guardian, it's a good vibes. All these things I just mentioned a while ago, it enhances creativity. It can teach them about finance. It's a great way to learn various skills. It's good for their education. If someone is there to supervise and to oversee, then it's all good. Well, let's jump into the cons quick and fast. It can bring unwanted attention. You dig? All right. Teens sometimes thinks it defines them. You dig? All right. It gets addicting. It gets addictive. It is addictive. Yeah. They can be bullied by teens or by elder people, and also can be targeted by pedophiles, rapists, and all these scumbags. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's run over the cons quick and fast again. So the cons is it can bring unwanted attention via pedophilia, rapists, troublemakers, and so on and so forth. It gets addictive. Yeah. Then all them want to do is basically they on social media all day. I remember I heard one time that there was this girl who basically was on social media or was on one of these apps, and she basically wanted to use the toilet, but she was on this app or on social media or something, and because she didn't want to move from the computer, she basically defecated right there on the spot without moving because she was so hooked on this thing. I couldn't believe it. But if you check it out, it's somewhere there. I don't know if it's actually social media or one of these games that came through via social media. But yeah, it's out there in the news, in the cloud somewhere. You can ask someone about it. Yeah, this young girl who basically mess up herself basically. You know what I mean? Yeah. Did the number 1 and 2 in her chair around her computer because she didn't want to go to the toilet. Honestly. Can you believe that? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And they can be bullied. You hear a lot of stories about teenagers being bullied on the internet. It's no joke, people. It's a serious thing. You know what I mean? Teenagers can be very awful. Very, very awful. And if they can't get you in school, in the classroom, and they will find your page if you got a page. And they will bully you because they know they can hide behind fake accounts without no profile picture, and they can say what they want to say and hide away without being caught. So it actually promotes, it facilitates bullying. Get it again? The word come up again? It facilitates bullying. Yeah, because people can't hide. You know what I mean? Yeah, people can't hide behind a emoji. Them can hide behind a false profile picture, a false name. And them can say what them want to say, and you will never know it's them. Yeah, so it facilitates bullying also / laziness. And all them look a pedophile, we put up pictures of a young boy or a young girl, pretending to be a young boy or a young girl, just to communicate with teenagers. And then when them get friendly and meet up somewhere, the teenagers are shocked and surprised that it's not a teenager themselves who come to meet them, but some grey, old white person. You know what I mean? Some local person where could have be them grandfather or them father and meet them. That's why I personally, my children don't have no social media. No, they don't go on social media, my children. The only time you get access to social media is when you reach the age 17, 18, and they become an adult. Then they can go on social media. But once you're in the age of 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I don't think so. No, you're too young for that. You know what I mean? It's too dangerous out there. Yeah. You can just basically have a local, you know what I mean? Access to the phone, yes. And I will allow you to have like a WhatsApp group if it's family WhatsApp group, and you can come in there and interact. But you won't go on Twitter, you won't go on Facebook, you won't go on Instagram, you won't go on TikTok. No, not my children under my roof. That not gonna work. You dig? No. So with that being said, family, with that being said, look out for the part 2. See? We're gonna be going more in depth in social media because it's a very interesting topic and it needs to be discussed. See? And I, Asha Ice, the Upfull King, will be doing some more research and going more in depth in social media. Now I ask you the question, is social media good or is it bad? Is it building or is it destroying communities? Upfull, CUPFULL, blazing. Honourable in real life, no joke. Like, comment, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Blazing.